Welcome back, guys. I'm Gary with Automatic Door and Hardware. We're a manufacturer of commercial doors, automatic doors, and the parts and hardware that go with those doors. If you like learning about doors and hardware, then you've come to the right place. Each day we try to do 2 or 3 videos related to this. So please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Okay, guys, so now for our subject today, and that is how do I replace my fixed panel or fixed side light bottom guide in my automatic sliding door, specifically the Stanley Duraglide model. And to answer this question, I brought in my dad, who has decades of experience with automatic doors, and he goes by Gary as well. Here he is.
Hi, I'm Gary Sr. First of all, I'm going to define what a fixed side light automatic sliding door is. A fixed side light sliding door has 2 active sliding doors that are sliding on the exterior side of the door, and on the interior side there are fixed panels that never open or move. That would be the definition of a fixed side light sliding door. For a Stanley, the bottom guides are held in with 2 screws, and there's 1 roller on there. Oftentimes that roller is either shot, you can hear them squealing in there, and they need the guide itself needs replacement. They're pretty easy to replace. It's just a matter of using a Phillips head screwdriver to remove those 2 bottom screws and taking that guide out of the bottom of the door. And on a lot of Stanley sliding doors, toward the opening that you walk through, where that bottom track is underneath the stationary door leaf, there's going to be 1 Phillips screw down on the bottom that you'll have to remove, and there'll be a little L-clip piece of aluminum extrusion that you have to remove that prevents that guide from coming out of the a hole on the bottom. Once you remove that, then you can take that guide and slide it right out of the hole. It's a pretty simple operation, and then it can be reinstalled also the same way. To do that, to be able to do a guide on a Stanley, you'd have to go to the exterior side, remove the 2 screws that hold the cover down, and hinge the cover open. Of course, you want to make sure the door is off with the power switch and slid all the way open. And then you're going to go through the same procedure as the FBO door, where you remove 2 screws that hold the belt clip to the carriage of the door, which are 9/16 in size, and then you will loosen the 2 anti-risers up on that top carriage. And once those anti-risers are loose and slid down to give you the most clearance, then you can take the Stanley door, and because it's not hooked to the belt clip anymore, and slide it all the way down so the door is in the closed position. But before you do that, you want to make sure you remove that angle clip out of the bottom of the door, stationary door panel, which will then gain access to get that roller out of the cutout hole on the bottom. And once you slide the door shut, then you can lift the door leaf up and remove the whole door leaf with that bottom guide attached on the door still. And you have to be careful doing that, because some doors could be quite heavy. And once that door is out, then you'll be able to see the 2 screws that hold that bottom guide in. Oftentimes those bottom guides are all bent up too. You may even find the bottom door rail bent from abusive situations. Depending on how bad it is, you may be able to just take a hammer and hammer that aluminum back into shape so it's not bent anymore. And then after you've removed the 2 screws from the original bad guide, you can stick in the new one, tighten the 2 screws up, make sure those are good and tight, because if they're not good and tight, that guide will fall apart down there. So I like to use an impact on them, impact electric screwdriver, and impact them in there good.
Yep.
And then to put it back together, you simply slide that roller into that access pocket that you have near the opening, and then you can once that's in place, then you can lift the door up and put it back on the track, readjust your anti-riser so they're not touching, but almost as close to you can get it as to almost touching but not touching. They shouldn't be rolling when the door rolls up there. And then you'd reattach your belt clip with the 2 bolts, and then after that's done, then you'll have to snap that active leaf door open it at 90 degrees. It has a breakout at the top, so it will allow the door to snap open to the exterior. Once that's done, then you can put that aluminum angle clip back in down at the bottom to prevent the guide from coming out of that hole. And that would pretty much be it. Sometimes you may have to take a screwdriver and adjust that bottom guide by putting it, if it's the door is like rubbing on the side light because it's been hit so many times and bent, that you may have to take a large screwdriver and put it in the heel of the door, and between the side light and the active leaf, and pull that door to the exterior to bend it. What you're doing is you're actually bending that the bracket for that FSL guide and creating clearance between the active leaf and the stationary side light. And you can tell a lot of doors that they're so bent up that you'll see big grooves in the side light where they're grinding down on them, or the screws have come loose and grinding on the other door leaf. But generally that's all it takes. In most instances, nothing needs to be adjusted as far as bending that guide in or out. And then of course you want to check your breakout switches to make sure they're all functional. I've seen a lot of people out there, service companies, where they disconnect those breakout switches, which is a no-no, and the door will operate, but then what happens is if the door is snapped out, it keeps on trying to operate and goes into a bind and could possibly even hit somebody from that door leaf moving because the breakout switch was disconnected by somebody. We do have those breakout switches available, 2 brand new ones at Auto Door Hardware for sale. Sometimes squeaking, you may think it's in the bottom guide, but it's in the FSL breakout switch, because it also has a roller that rolls against the active leaf. And once those get so worn out, the bushing in them is shot, they start squealing real bad, or they don't even work anymore. Oftentimes you'll get to a job and they didn't disconnect the breakout switch, but they've taken the roller on it and shoved it in so far that it's inside of the panel of the stationary door leaf and not doing anything. It's non-functional anymore. That's one thing I've seen different service companies do, which they shouldn't be doing, but they have, which is unfortunate that stuff like that happens when they should be going to the store manager and bringing them over and showing them exactly what needs to be replaced, and so he understands what's going on also.
Yeah. Definitely. Safety is always the #1 thing. So, it doesn't, doesn't pay to do that. You know, you think if the guy thinks he's saving some money by doing it, it's not worth it, because if those doors do swing out and they're still operating, you know, you could have an elderly person walking up the sidewalk, and now there's about, you know, a 34-inch wide door panel coming towards them that knock them over or something like that. So definitely something to look out for. I know that's a side of the industry where a lot of people aren't aware, and that's why we bring about these videos to help building owners, contractors, and even service guys help with knowing what to look for. But as far as the fixed panel guide goes, these are handed guides. Now, we offer these fixed panel guides in individually where they are handed, but we also offer what we call our tune-up repair kit, which is an all-in-one kit that includes a left-hand and right-hand bottom guide and all the rollers you need for a bi-part automatic sliding door fixed panel. So if you plan on replacing both, which you should, if one goes out, you should replace the other as well, then, you know, the handing isn't much of a concern because you're going to replace both of them. But if you're only looking to replace one, which we do not recommend, but if you do, then be sure to look at our product images to determine the correct hand, because obviously you don't want to order, you know, the wrong hand. So that's something to look out for on the fixed panel guides. And I guess any final thoughts in terms of the fixed panel guides on, I guess, again, the things they should look for if potentially that is the issue?
Yeah, most of the time when you go out there, the roller will maybe be missing on that bottom guide, and you have metal rubbing against metal. Or the guide is squeaking so loud that, you know, it's obvious that the bushing shot in it. Or the door leaf is scraping against the other door leaf because the roller is not even there anymore.
Yep. Those issues will do it. If you guys have any other questions, even about troubleshooting your door, be sure to email us at sales@autodoorandhardware.com. We're always here to help. And again, we have literally all the parts for Stanley automatic sliding doors. So if it's broken, we have the parts to fix it. And all these can be purchased. All the parts we speak of can be purchased on our website, www.autodoorandhardware.com. Thank you again for your time.
Thank you.